Yesterday we had a meeting with the team from Bank of Uganda led by the Deputy Governor, Mr. Ego. Pursuant to the audit we received, and this one arose as an ancillary matter. And for the benefit of Mr. Semakula and your team who were not here yesterday, we did enter into or engage in an inquiry into something that has been in public domain for some 2 months now, of money, millions of dollars that went missing. Part of the money found its way in a bank in London, United Kingdom. In another large portion or larger portion of the same found its way into Japan, a bank in Japan. So we asked your bankers how we lost that money. I don't need to introduce that subject. If you are serious at your job, you know the subject. So we were informed that actually Bank of Uganda as a bank works on instructions from their client. And the client now is the Republic of Uganda, ably or otherwise represented by the Ministry of Finance. And that the chief paymaster is Mr. Semakula, who is in front of us. So tell us about the subject, what you know, and then we shall see how to proceed.
Monies that were supposed to be made for debt repayment somehow landed with different beneficiaries. Now, this is a subject of investigations that we are undertaking so that we know how this could have happened. Because we have been on our systems, we have checked the instructions that we did give did not have those beneficiaries that eventually got the monies. And I want to emphasize, Chair, that us at Bank of Uganda won, because they are our bankers, we are the client. So we are trying our level best to understand.
You also sit on their board.
Well,
is that true?
Yes, as the ministry we do. Yes, we do.
So
we are one.
Through the PSST.
That's true. So we are trying our level best to be able to understand how this could have happened, so that it does not reoccur. We have engaged, the Auditor General has engaged the special audit. We have the police forensics that are also on the premises to be able for us to understand exactly what happened, so that based on that, then we are able to see how we proceed. I really want to emphasize in that we have looked at our information that we have. We do not have those beneficiaries as registered service providers of government. Because for us to be able to pay you as any supplier of government, you must be registered on a government payment system. And these people are not registered. So it is important for us to be able then to understand how this could have occurred for a non-registered government supplier receiving money. So this is something that we are really investigating, and we hope that the investigations should be out soon, and then we can know the facts. And then based on that, we can see how to proceed. Chair.
When did this happen?
The first transaction was in September. They happened in September.
No, be specific now. Refer to your documents, if any. You have the account.
Chair.
When did this occur?
Chair, this happened on the 15th of September 2024. We had maturities for public debt. And for every debt, maybe just a little bit of a background, for every debt that we contract, we normally agree with our creditors to have maturity dates. And these are it is usually paid twice in a year. For this particular transaction, the first one, which was a payment meant to go to the IDA, the due date was 15 September 2024. And because we already have some understanding with the central bank, and we have what we call a T+2 arrangement to be able to give us an opportunity to understand and agree to the payments properly. So we started processing the payment earlier, and we started on 9th, and on 12th, the payment was remitted to the Bank of Uganda. So this is on 12th that the payment is leaving the Ministry of Finance to go to the Bank of Uganda, because its maturity date is the 15th of September 2024. And normally we work very tightly to make sure that we do not default. So that was the date for the 6,134,137. 137.75 US dollars that was meant to go to IDA with respect to interest and principal. It on the 20th of September 2024, that's when we remitted it to the central bank, and this was going to the ADF, US dollar 8,596,824. 596,824.26. So this was with respect to ADF. Yes, Chair.
Mr. Semakula, while you were speaking, trying our best to know. So 15th September to October to November to December, those are 3 months. You do not know. Is that part of what you call trying or doing your best? With this huge amount of money in the public domain, anxiety everywhere in the country, after 3 months, you do not know, and you're saying you're doing your best. Is that the best you can do for us?
Chair, as I said, I think this was the first of its kind, and it's a very complicated issue. We do not want to come to conclusion very fast, so we really need to understand. It's a very complicated issue. You know, we have to go through all the transactions that we have transacted. We have to go backwards to see if there could have been any other incident like that before. We have to, for example, to image the computers and try to see if there are any deletions from anywhere. So it's really a long process. But we are hoping that we should be able to, maybe with the Auditor General, in the next, maybe maximum 1 month, we should complete and be sure.
You know, I'm a very conservative Christian. Back very soon. In my attempt, or trying like you also, trying to understand what very soon meant, so that I don't withdraw my trust and hope, I learned that one day, in our eyes, is 40 years now, me? In the eyes of God. So you want us to maybe translate into the biblical one, that you're trying and working hard means and includes the biblical version. Okay, we shall nonetheless proceed. Who in your office instructed Bank of Uganda to make this payment, either for and on behalf of the Accountant General?
Chair, I think you see the payment process, and even I think Bank of Uganda will say the same. We have tried as much as possible to automate it. And automation means that each person at a different level, you do your input. For example, what do I mean? In that the treasury operations people, because this falls under their mandate, they are the ones who initiate the process. They initiate.
They are called the treasury operations.
Yes, they initiate. But so when they initiate, it goes to the payment side. Now,
That is, we are talking about Mrs. Muhuruzi.
Yes, so they initiate, and when they initiate, now it goes to the general, what we call the payment side. Now the payment side, for it they do what they call an amalgamation.
Now let's take us slow because
okay,
we have not been there.
Okay.
Now, from the team of Mrs. Muhuruzi, who are those particular persons that initiated? Before we go to the payment side, now we are still at treasury operations. They are initiating. Who are those that initiated?
Chair, I don't know if you indulge with us because
I will always do.
Yeah, because for me, when you told me to come, I basically came on my own with the few person that I could come because we had an engagement.
Mrs. Muhuruzi is just seated on your immediate right.
Yes, she is.
She's the docket holder.
So I don't know if she also could have gone into the system
to
know because
it would actually be a big offense.
Okay.
It would be treasonable
for
her not to have gone into the system.
So I wanted the chair to talk about the general and then we can come to the specifics.
No, because you told me you have 1 hour.
Okay.
I will not undertake the lecture of including tomorrow. Now I want to know specifically in this because 3 months Mrs. Muhuruzi must have also looked at and have a trail. So Mrs. Jennifer Bijirwa Muhuruzi. Bijirwa, yes, Muhuruzi. Tell us who in your team handled this particular transaction. And by the way, even for Bank of Uganda, we do not want to hold them for the entire day. They are doing a lot of work. Madam? Oh, by the way, for this, you could even sacrifice the salaries.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, as we are trying to explain, payment processing is indeed a process at various stages. So we have officers who start the process, and the process will start by us receiving the bills from the particular creditor. Then we have officers who will do the reconciliation.
Yes, let's not talk into generalities. So did you receive bills from the creditors?
Yes,
These
we
two
did.
creditors?
Yes, we did.
Do you have those bills with you here?
Not here, but we received the bills.
Please submit the same by close of business today.
Okay. So when we received the bills, we indeed reconciled them.
We reconciled them. Who reconciled them?
Maureen.
Maureen who?
Maureen Kichoncho did the reconciliation.
Maureen Kichoncho.
Yes.
Yes.
Did the reconciliation and they tally with our system.
Did the reconciliation.
Which is the debt management and the financial analysis system.
Who else? Anyone else?
That's
okay. After Maureen reconciling or doing the reconciliation, where did it go?
It now comes through the assistant commissioner, and at that point.
Who is the assistant commissioner?
That is Mubarak.
Who?
Mubarak.
Mubarak. Mubarak
Nasamba.
who?
Nasamba.
Masamba.
Nasamba.
Nasamba.
So yes. At that point, we now raise an internal memo.
So what does Nasamba do? Or what did he do?
Review and also confirm.
Reviewed and confirmed.
Review and confirm, and then also to raise an internal memo to the accounting.
No, not to raise.
Officer.
Raised. Now we are talking about past tense.
Yeah.
Raised an internal memo.
Raised an internal memo that came to the accounting officer for authorization to process that payment. So that came.
To authorize payment. Yes. To authorize payment.
Myself, Jennifer. Yeah. So that came to me as the accounting officer, and I authorized for both transactions.
So number 3 now is I authorized.
Yes.
Payment.
Authorized payment. And
To who? Payment to who?
when I authorize payment, I'm giving authority to
No. Who is the beneficiary?
IDA.
IDA.
The first one was
And?
IDA, and then the second one
Is
to
ADF.
ADF.
ADF here we mean the African Development Fund.
Correct.
So don't misquote her that they were paying Allied Democratic Forces. Yes, I want us to go process by process so that we understand each other.
Yes.
So after authorizing, who do you submit to?
After authorizing, I return them and say this is authorized, and then
I return to who?
to it is going to Maureen, but through Mubarak. So then they now again capture it on the system.
Wait, Mubarak. Who captures?
On the system, Maureen is capturing on the system.
She captures on the system.
IFMIS, yes, on the integrated
But
financial.
Doreen is not Nasamba. Nasamba is Mubarak. Doreen is Chichoncho. So, Marine received.
Yes. For input.
Okay. She input.
Yes.
We are going to learn how you operate so that immediately after Parliament, I'm going to apply for a job in Ministry of Finance because I will be knowing what to do.
Okay.
Yes, after that inputting.
After inputting, then it now has to be approved on the IFMIS.
It was then approved.
Then approved.
It was then approved. We are talking about past.
Oh, sorry, Chair, about that.
It was then
approved for
approved
payment.
on.
For payment.
Who approved?
Mubarak approved on the system.
Is there something like a password?
Yes, there is.
And the password is now in Mubarak's hand.
Yes.
Okay.
So after approving, that's when now the payments go to the payments team, which is central at.
Goes to the payments team.
Which is central at the Treasury.
Now, in the payments team, we want to know who it went to, because now we are talking about the past. Presumably, you know. Now it is no longer team, but particular individuals.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that I want to, because basically with the treasury operations, so I only came with the treasury operations report.
Okay.
But otherwise, there is a central payments team.
That's okay. Don't worry. For you are going to tell us up to the point where you've sent it to the X team X. But now, for you as the chief cashier, and now you're also going to tell us what you know thereafter, because you must have followed up. Hey, it has happened. Now you know. We will get them. We will have them. Their house is not on fire. We will have them at another occasion. So now, central at the Treasury. That's why we have stopped with Jennifer. So from there, what happened?
So now, what usually happens?
Who is the responsible commissioner?
It's called Chigenyi Daniel. Yes. So, but what happens for that team?
Wait. Mr. Semakula,
Yes.
our letter of invitation to you dated yesterday, and we are very grateful that at short notice we did mention the subject. And you know that if it is the subject,
when we had engagement at that time, I'll make sure that I come.
yeah, and
But should you have want another clarification, please,
yes, and
we can arrange. And
I will
I'll be here.
continue to thank you.
Yeah.
We agreed in that telephone conversation that you will come with those that you're able to bring.
This one.
You have been able to bring only these ones.
Yeah.
The rest are in that engagement.
Yes.
Okay. But now that the events happened,
Just come and do this. I give you the general, and then
okay, we shall determine whether there are specifics
and then you can
need to give
the,
us.
the specifics.
So after here, central at the Treasury, what happened?
Now, central at the Treasury, we have a payment team. Now, this payment team handles all the votes Basically for them is not to do anything, any transaction apart from formatting. So we shall have received payments from Parliament, payments from Defense, payments from Education, payments from Treasury Operations, and amalgamate them into a file based on the funding for that day.
Yes.
Yes. So for them, they don't look at specifics. They are general on that.
Okay.
They are general. So after that, the formatting, then a file is created. So on the system, we have a full file that today, these are the payments that are getting from the Treasury and which have gone to the bank. At that point, yes.
Yes. Now, from your findings, who handled this particular one?
Chair, I said that's why I'm saying that I really need to come and have a discussion on that specifically, so that I go and, because I didn't know what you want to ask me, whether it's a specific operation and so on. Yeah.
When we talked, I told you to come with all the relevant documents. Did you bring? Have you come with them?
I couldn't raise them, Chair.
Why?
Because as I said, that you gave me really little time.
Okay.
And I said, but because now the files are in different offices. So
I see you with some documents. You managed to get a few?
No, these are mine for my reference. But if you need...
Okay, you refer to them.
No, it's not possible, because those ones are not there. These were the general correspondence between us and the bank, not the specific operation.
Do they say who was being paid?
From the bank, yes, it says.
Who do you say?
From the bank, I see they said Roadway Company Limited.
No, not from the bank, from you.
No, from us it was very clear. IDA, ADF. This from our report, because it is our report which is the last. So if you have to do any changes...
Okay, Roadway. You were reading Roadway?
From the bank, yes, not from...
From the bank. Who wrote from the bank?
They say Roadway. That was the director banking. Roadway Company Limited.
Writing to who?
No, this was confirming to the accounting officer, Treasury Operations.
No. The director banking is telling who?
Accounting officer. When she requested, it says we sent money to IDA and ADF, but this money has not reached. So what happened? Then the director wrote back and said, incidentally, these EFTs, we have these payments to these people who are not known to us.
So the director banking is saying, these people are not...
Although you said that these payments were for so and so, but these payments we see, the final pay is
You see,
so
don't use so and so, because the record will not get the particular... Let me help you.
Chair, this is
but I'm saying give it to me.
So,
you know I can compel you. I am, as a leader, but at the same time, I will not hide, or we will not hide information. As he said, this was on 17th October 24. The accounting officer, stroke treasury operations, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, signed by Charles Bugisu, a director. It is from Bank of Uganda. He's saying, we have noted with concern that the mentioned EFTs, and names them, dated September 10th, 2024, and EFT, that one of 26th September 24, were processed STP, but not paid to the beneficiaries you mentioned in your letters as per the table. And he mentions them, and they're saying Roadway Company Limited, MUFG Bank, Japan, the 6.134, 137.7.5. Okay? Where the intended pay was International Development Association, but the final pay was that one. African Development Fund, the money went to MJS International. But this is post now.
Yeah.
It is after. Okay, I have seen this. So this is one letter of October 17th, 2024. from BoU, Office of Director Banking. Can we look at your document? We will return this. But give me the one which...
I hope you returned, sir.
I will return.
Because I did.
Your hope is...
This one.
That's why I'm not putting anyone somewhere where you cannot
So just hope I'll get back the page.
submit them to us.
We have submitted all those, Chair. Very good.
Okay, 10th October 24, Director Banking, Bank of Uganda. It is from Jennifer Muhuruzi Bijirwa. Request for confirmation of foreign exchange transaction, EFT number 14380401. Relate to debt service, which is overdue. Mrs. Muhuruzi? You are making reference to confirmation which was made.
Yes, Chair.
Do you have a copy of that confirmation which was made by Bank of Uganda that they remitted?
When we process payments which go to the central team, after they have been remitted to the Bank of Uganda, normally we get feedback through, again, the same department.
So you got feedback.
Yes.
Where is it? You have it?
Chair, I don't have that feedback.
It's okay. We shall have it.
Okay.
It's not here with you.
No, it's not here with me. But,
To be submitted before close of business today.
Okay.
Okay. And for the documents that I ask you to deliver, please make sure you deliver by hand to the clerk. And he acknowledges receipt. In your presence, seals, you both sign on that enclosing bit of the envelope. Why? We do not want to be accused of leaking your documents, but we also sensitive to the operations of both the bank and the ministry, especially the bank. The ministry is our political establishment. The bank does a professional job elsewhere. And the documents will not be shared. I will also not touch them in the absence of the clerk. My members will not touch them in the absence of the clerk and myself. So I want to address your sensitivities. So now 10th October. The other one was September 27th. Was it 17th? Yes. So on October 24th, there is a letter from the director to the director banking from your ministry. And it is signed by Lawrence Semakula now, Accountant General. I think that's when you had come in. That is Mr. Semakula. 24th October 2024. Letter from Accountant General. Okay. Mr. Semakula, from 24th October, where do we go?
And the bank, and agreed on certain measures to do. The first one was that we should do a forensic to establish, as I said, that we really need to establish, because this is an incident that had never occurred to us, so we really need to establish how this could have happened. We did agree to establish through a forensic audit. Then we also said that we should recall the funds. Bank of Uganda should now take all necessary measures to recall the funds. We did agree that should be reported to police, because this now becomes a police case. Okay. And for us, again, as a ministry, we did agree later that we should also involve Financial Intelligence Authority, since they have jurisdictions all over the world, to be able to help us so that we know these people whom they are. So we also wrote a letter to Financial Intelligence Authority to assist us. Yes, I'll do, yes. I didn't carry one. Did I carry one? Yeah, I didn't carry one. Oh, just check. But, I didn't carry one chair. So, but that's what we did. And we embarked on that forensic review. And when we went to police, the police advised us that it would be much more better for us to also engage the Auditor General, since so.
Who was to do the forensic audit?
Now we had agreed that since it was a matter of urgency, Bank of Uganda gets somebody to immediately at least give us the basics of what could have happened. But then later we said, no, we need to do a further detailed, because now if we get only one and is contracted by the BoU, we think maybe might not be independent. That was what some people thought, that it might not be independent. So let's get an independent person, and that's when we agreed that the Auditor General is an independent person who can authoritatively audit the Bank of Uganda and ourselves to be able to establish the truth.
Okay.
And that's why we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, colleagues.
For example, I think the Bank of Uganda management specifically talked about CID.
Yes.
And I think that was the specific.
And KPMG.
And KPMG.
Yes. PwC, sorry.
Okay, PwC.
PwC.
And we sought for the mandate under which they are doing it. Now,
let me clarify on that, Honorable Swambi.
No,
I don't think there is a problem with that.
Can I please lay my fears? Because
you put your
Chair,
fears
you are not
across.
confused. I'm the one who's really confused.
You're the one who is confused.
So I need to get clarification. Thank you, sir. They are talking about the Auditor General, which is a clear mandate. Now, what I wanted to know, these two institutions, with all due respect, they are actually involved in this entire saga. The population out there is really asking what really happened for Bank of Uganda or Minister of Finance to go into this ditch. And now they are the same people commissioning the investigations without any external or independent force. The law is very clear. The Auditor General is under us. So they should have written to the Speaker and get some bit of involvement. Independently, Minister of Finance, you have no control whatsoever to deal directly with the Auditor General under the law. At least I know that mandate. Now that you are doing it, under which specific mandate, and what kind of assurance are you giving us outsiders that this is going to be independent and transparent? Then two, and final one. Honorable Chair, when you talk of a forensic audit, it's different from ordinary audit. And now the Accountant General is saying, I don't have this, I'm not aware about this. Now, what kind of forensic audit are they doing when you, the provider of the information, you are ignorant or evasive?
Before I allow them to engaging an auditor, because they must also be interested in knowing, the bank assures money. So the bank has a duty to establish how it would detail who did what part, when. In other words, what is the role of each and every one. Mr. Semakula says when... Yes, I'm very, very sure. At least I'm not confused. Wait, I'm not concluding. I am guiding. Because from what Honorable Sibambi said, did all that. But even as they do it, nothing stops you, Bank of Uganda, from auditing your trail. Indeed, the governor told us that there is it internal auditor, undertook, we are yet to come to Bank of Uganda, undertook an audit. Now that audit from this end of Bank of Uganda will give us the result from their finding. Don't forget, actually, when you say Honorable Swami, they are speaking at cross purpose. I expect it. In fact, it is what I expect. Because I am dealing with the client and the client's bankers. The client is saying, I did not instruct you to pay roadway. Not so? Isn't that your story? The bank is saying, you instructed me to pay roadway. So I expect them to speak at cross purpose. What we are now expecting them to do is for each side to give us their documents. And let me guide. There is not that you cannot give us. Nobody is going to hide under the police. Nobody is going to hide under the auditor. I mean, if the auditor, who is an external person, can access documents, how about the owner of the money? We own the money.
In fact, Chair, I wanted to add that
yes,
our rules,
yes,
I said it to Bank of Uganda yesterday, our rules empower this committee with the powers of the High Court, even to compel. And it appears they are just being elusive and evasive.
I agree with you up to the first bit of the rules.
Yeah.
There. And we have not reached the level of exercising those powers. Why? They have not refused to give us the documents. 2, they are entitled to give us the answers they feel they have, including lies. The trouble will only come in when we process it and establish that it is a lie. And you know what we can do, or what we normally do. So I am being soft like Omo. It is tough on stains, but soft on the hands. So I will softly ask. 1, from the perspective of Mr. Semakula and your team, Treasury Operations, give me just one document on each transaction that was saying pay IDF. Is it ADF and I and IDA? 2, let me know, I will know from the bank where you got the document that says pay roadway. And what is the other company? MJ, MU, MJS. I think to me that one sorts the entire game. Then I will know. Because at least we agree that IDA was to be paid. ADF was to be paid. The other 2 were not to be paid. So I want to know who instructed the bank to pay the 2. So I come back to you, Mr. Semakula.
Chair, before that.
Wait. Sorry, I'm advised actually. We are still there.
Chair, maybe I need another shock absorber here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the team for the information they are giving us. You see, Chair, I think the concern of the members and the concern of the public is one that from your submissions, this seems to be an inside game, an inside dealing. And you are saying it is the first of its kind. Our only concern is the casual way of how you are handling this matter. It is as if you are taking it for granted that you'll get the results. It is as if you are not shrewd. It's as if you are insensitive on the amount of money we have lost. I think that is the concern of the member. That, for example, I would imagine that in your system, you have internal control systems. At this point, as the chair was asking, you should have now statements from all the officers who are involved in that system. But when you come and say we are doing our level best, by waiting for someone from the committee, we are concerned. Then, Mr. Chairman, as you have listed the number of officers, yesterday, Chair, if you talk to the Chair and said, I want people who are concerned, now the person we want is not here. You now want to waste another day to get a person. That shows how casual and maybe under seriousness you are taking this matter to be. And that's why you see, as we hear from members, that is our concern. And for us as representatives of the people, we want to see if there is any, either brick or a nail or something you can add on this so that we get a solution. But when you come and you hide and you say for us we are okay and you don't want to involve us, we are concerned. Because as a committee, there is something we can do as far as these investigations are concerned. So I think, Mr. Chairman, they need to, I wouldn't use the word style up because they already styled up. But please, you show commitment that you are doing something. Because now at the end of the day, you are saying we are now waiting for a forensic audit, which may even take 2 years. But as you are waiting for a forensic audit, the money is gone. There is nothing to recover even after the forensic audit, because that is a post-mortem. So if you have internal control system, I don't like
the idea of we are not likely to recover.
You see, Chair.
We are likely to recover.
You see, Chair, you are likely to recover if they are cooperative and if it is not an inside
They don't need to cooperate.
But these delaying tactics, as they delay,
for us to recover this money, they don't need to cooperate. Cooperation from the fraudsters or from those that were negligent. So don't create an impression that there is a possibility of not recovery.
Now, Chair, if we are to recover as a committee, I would now concur with my neighbor here that we should now go to our rules and act as a high court, not just as a mere committee. We compare them to produce documents, and if need be, you know the last point of the rule, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
And now, before it belongs to the radical neighbor, radical neighbor, switch off your microphone. I repeat, and I will not tire repeating this. True, we have those powers you're talking about, but they can only be called into play when someone has refused to give you documents. As we speak, I have documents in my hands. I have documents here. How do you conclude? And therefore, no. I know each and every rule. So I think let's be fair to our witnesses. I told you the house is not on fire. Every document we want, we shall have it. By the way, informally we have these documents. So anything that somebody hides from us is playing in the hands of the devil. But the rules spell out how we receive these documents. That's why we want to receive them that way. And by the way, we have no suspect before us. We have witnesses. They will help us track who should be a suspect. From these documents, for example, I have seen an instruction that pay the African Development Fund, ADF. Okay? So we will get the documents. 2, I have seen letters requesting for confirmation whether payment has been made. No, they are not. You must have the patience, by the way. I have seen a document here saying pay is International Development Association, Washington. Ongoing forensic. Document on the forensic he has been talking about. Ongoing forensic audit by PwC. The document is here. Incidents of cyber fraud regarding external debt payments, transfer meant for IDA. They are writing, they are talking. To me, those are steps.
Chair, which date is that? You read
the date? Yes. October 29th.
Now we are in December. What
yes. You see, you will never play the role of a judge if you do not have patience.
Chair, can he formally present it for even us who are not
don't
part
worry.
of the chair? No, when you receive it, Honorable Chair.
I have not received it
the way it is, but
for your record.
He's about to leave.
Who said he's about to leave?
He said he has 1 hour.
Hey. No. I'm the one who gave it to him. I can withdraw it. And it is intended for a purpose. You know why I'm going through these documents? For us to identify the documents we want. And for us to get the documents we want. Once you get these documents, you shall revert to the bank and say your client says, I told you to pay this. Now, I think to me, so far the most relevant are these two, which we are saying pay or ADF. Pay IDA. We will also get the documents from Bank of Uganda. So, be patient, which say that pay roadway. Those are the ones we are going to ask for and get. We are going to, just before, as you come in, you're going to come in.
Chair.
Just a quick one.
Wait. Mr. Semakula, you're going to nominate two persons from your end. Lawino and Twin CID. No. He has. Go with the two of you, get up. Come. Give me two persons from your end. Go and make one copy of each of these documents.
You said you wanted them formally.
I will do it. Don't worry. I'm going to get them formally. Who are you nominating? Or if you don't have anyone you're nominating, my people will go and photocopy. Okay, please go and make one copy each and bring them here. We now proceed to Honorable Mwadanku Nyinji.
That some of these witnesses before us are equally forwarded to police, because from their answers.
Make your submission. There is nothing unfortunate. I can call the IGP to come.
Yeah, from the responses I've had, Chair, yesterday when we were interfacing with the Deputy Governor, he alluded to a system, a payment system within Bank of Uganda, that whatever comes from Ministry of Finance is automatically handled in the system and paid as it has been presented. And even insinuated that probably there is even no need for human involvement. It is computerized system. Now, the narrative from the Ministry of Finance is to the effect that for them, they indicated the right recipients as per equal documents you have cited, some of them. Now, we cannot be taken for a ride. Both of them must, at this point, know at what stage did the recipient name change, even before we look at the documents. At what stage? Because that is the immediate inquiry one will find out. Taking us around the circle, that this is happening, this will be welcome in terms of information. But let's get a precise position. Yes, you indicated that you are paying IDF. At what point? And the Bank of Uganda Deputy Governor was telling us, for them, what comes from your ministry is automatically paid in the available system. And he said there was no fraud in terms of cyber fraud from his narrative of yesterday. So we want to understand now, if the documents we are saying pay IDF and other recipients, and the governor is saying there was no cyber fraud. Now, at what stage did the recipient name change?
Guide me on who we should lock up, because I'm also itching.
Chair,
tell me who we should lock up.
Number one is the Deputy Governor. And then this, I don't know what his name is. Is it Accountant General? The two of them. And Chair, I'm equally praying that we must put them on oath, because they know the truth. And they are just taking us for a raid. Let's put them on oath.
You see, you're answering on who I should arrest. And I want to sign that. Now you're running to the civil beat. Arresting is a criminal process.
Chair,
guide me.
In the
Deputy Governor, I charge him with what? Detain him? What
Chair,
we put on the
Chair,
detention
the first step of securing accuracy, and it's within our rules, is to put the
Supposing he gives you a document saying, Mr. Semakula told me to pay roadway.
Chair, in the situation where we are in, that he alluded to a fact that there was no fraud.
There is
anyway.
no situation
From their answers.
from us.
Yeah, from their answers. The rules allows us to test their accuracy, principally by first of all putting them on oath, so that they speak the truth. Otherwise, they are deceiving us intentionally.
Muwadankunyi.
You said they are witnesses, but to us, these are suspects.
To you and who?
To us,
You
as
and your
people,
family.
to us as people, I'm a member of parliament.
You mean I'm not
These are people
one of the
responsible
people?
for national resources. They mismanaged it. Money is lost in the billions. They are here just loitering with irrelevant answers. The relevant answers are one. Tell us at what stage did you realize that the money is going to a wrong recipient? When did the recipient name change? Let's start from there.
Honorable
And what
Mwada,
did you do?
Honorable Mwada.
Have you suspended any staff involved
Now
in your
receive-
hierarchy?
okay.
Chair, this part very annoying.
You have, you see, okay, now switch off the. I will never allow you to get annoyed when you are sitting in the chair of a judge where you are seated. Stay calm. Let's get all the facts. That's number one. I will never go to a penalty before I exhaust the hearing. Number two, I hope not three, is they are not suspects. I am one of the people you are referring to, but now you and I have distinguished ourselves to sit here and listen. You know, and I know you know, you're a lawyer of some sizable standing. The right to a fair hearing, I'm
truth.
sure you agree with me that I'm heard in silence. Okay? You have made your submission. Hear my guidance in silence. And kindly don't turn on that microphone before I authorize you. No procedure. You cannot put me on procedure. Honorable Kayondo, you know the rules. I am guiding, you put me on procedure. You see, I'm the one on the floor. Procedure relates to the person on the floor. Okay, colleagues, listen, let's do it this way. Let's receive all the documents we want. I will not exercise any power of the High Court with respect to receiving documents when I'm receiving them. In the normal course, it has not failed. That's number one. Number two, I am guiding that there is no suspect before us. We have witnesses, and we are going to deal with them as such. Number three, no witness is going to hide in other processes which are extraneous to the process of Parliament. If there is anything that you think is confidential, you tell us, we make a ruling on it. So, we are not locking up anyone at this stage. We are proceeding as normal. Honorable Kabasharira?
I've been listening, and I'm sorry yesterday I was not here. I was representing you in Mombasa. But I'm happy I've listened to you, I've listened to the presentations. I did not listen to the presentation yesterday, but from what I've picked, I tend to agree with you, Chairman, that we first get information, the documents, because there is ping pong between the two institutions. One is saying, the client is saying, I told you this. The other one is saying, no, you told me this, and money went. So unless if we get the documents, because I'm sure they are there, they even have, I've seen a good number of IT. You know, these days, some of us who were born in BBC, and these ones who are in IT, they seem to be taking a lot of advantage over the other. And we used to say that a click of a pen, but these days it is a click of the button. and things change. And I'm sure if we go slowly, there is this Maureen whom they have mentioned, there is Mubarak, there is things just stand like this and that. I think we might even be castigating the wrong people. The small people that are there, maybe high ones can also be in the know, but those who played the games, I think they can easily be caught if we take it slowly. Slowly with time, we shall
It could
reach,
even be an act of God.
we shall reach
Interrogations will tell us whether it is an act of God.
Yes.
You know, in common law, we had an act of God and then enemies of the state. So we will
Also need to give the Accountant General time to get us the right documents and also the
some
right
of the
people.
right documents are going to be here now, today.
And
The
also,
others will come.
and also to interact with those people that they have mentioned. Chairman, whoever was in the line, because the process is long and there are many people who are involved. So who did this and that? We should eventually, I think, get.
Let's go to Kasese.
Chair, I want to thank you for the guidance, and I agree with you entirely. Yesterday, we dealt with one witness, and he was alone, the Bank of Uganda. Today, that witness is sitting here with another witness, the client, Minister of Finance. Where I come from, they say that when you listen to one witness, you may not judge properly until you have listened to the second and the third. And I'm glad that the Accountant General has told us what seemingly seems to be the truth. I want to say.
Point of order, Honorable Mwaga.
Chair, is procedure concerning when a member alludes to a submission as the truth, when actually we are still interrogating, and we have even made prayers that you put them on oath, presupposing that we are in high doubt. Is it in order?
No, he's in order because there is no presumption of when a witness is telling you, you will assume that he's telling you that betrays him or her.
Chair, we have evidence that money was lost.
I have
And they have not explained the whereabouts of the money.
I actually
They cannot be saying the truth before disclosing the whereabouts of the money.
You fraudster called roadway. Wait, the fraudster called roadway. Exactly. No. I overrule you on that. There is no accomplice so far established. We will get the accomplices because we say money was in our wardrobe. The door to the house was not broken into. The wardrobe key is with someone. The wardrobe was not broken into. So, who had the safe itself is safe. So we want to know who facilitated, who provided the key. And colleagues, let us not spend time on procedural guidances, on basic things. Honorable Mujungu, proceed.
Thank you for protecting me, Chair. Chair, I think we need to thank member. Bank of Uganda told us we feed the system. On the opposite side, they receive. They also reply. But fortunately, the client has told us the beneficiary changed along the chain. And this is very critical, I think, Mr. Chairman, in this meeting. However, Chair, I wanted the Accountant General to come clear. Yes. He's a professional accountant.
Yes.
And he's sitting on the head of the economy, Minister of Finance. To say that this incident was unprecedented, therefore they needed magical knowledge maybe to handle it, is far-fetched from him. I believe the ministry has internal controls. My brother alluded to it. How do you manage risk in the ministry? Did this one fall within the domain of the risk that goes with this transaction? Mr. Chair, when we talk of $6 million, we are talking of an equivalent of 5 seed schools. 5 seed schools in this country, stolen, lost. Yes. This is about 21 billion. This is about 21 billion.
Total is 60 billion.
No, I'm just talking about $6 million. One tranche of the transaction, Mr. Chair. And I'm saying if you put... Okay, Mr. Chair, that the accountant general has not showed seriousness over the level of this risk. Secondly, Chair, the bank told us yesterday that when they have authorized the payment, they forward to the ministry, to him, I believe, to confirm, and they give 2 days.
Are we paying the right person?
Are we paying the right person? And it was indicated yesterday that you are sometimes silent on the deadline of 2 days. You need to come clear that you have already...
And that when they don't respond,
they click the
these
button.
ones pay.
So, come clear here, Mr. Accountant. Chair, I want to close my submission at that. Thank you.
I did ask you what your question was.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, I want to begin with Madam Jennifer, who is the accounting officer in this case. Of course, in her department, there are 3 people involved in this transaction. That is herself, Maureen, and Mubarak. Now, you've told us that Maureen is almost the last person in terms of approval. Is that true? Mubarak.
You need to answer
yes,
that.
Mubarak is the last person.
Yes, Mubarak
in terms
is the
of
last
approval. Is that true?
In terms of action.
Chair, it is the accounting officer, but when the accounting officer is not available, then that role is delegated.
So in this case, who of the 2?
In this case, was the accounting officer available?
Yes, the accounting officer was available, but invoice approval had been delegated to Mubarak.
So in this case, it's Mubarak.
Mubarak.
So, did Mubarak approve this transaction when BoU was requesting for your approval?
Chair, the way it works is after the payments have been sent to the bank and we get the feedback, which I talked about, through the central department that processes the payments. It is by way of statements. So then...
No, wait. Deputy Governor, you told us yesterday that when you are to authorize payment, you first send to finance for approval, and that approval takes 2 days. So the question is, when you sent requesting for authorization from finance, did you, through Mubarak, approve or authorize the payment? Don't take us through the stories.
No, it is not stories, but the process is in such a way that when I have my invoices sent, they are showing who is to be paid. And this is managed centrally. So when we send them to the BoU, we now receive feedback, and this usually is by exception. And always what we do is we are interested in the exceptions, and the exceptions would be that now you wanted to pay IDA, but it has bounced. Maybe the account is closed or they are not there. When you don't get an exception, then it means the payment has gone as per the instruction. And then an email to that effect is also sent to say you wanted to pay IDA, we paid IDA.
Mr. Chairman, yes. Allow me that the governor repeats the word yesterday in regard to seeking approval or authorization for payments.
Why no? Is because you do not allow one witness to interfere into the submission of another. You let each witness put their case across, independent and separate of the other. Why we organized this meeting this way is we want the governor to hear what the other people are saying. I summarized the gist of what he said.